All right, well, hell, I think we're back. Good grief. Um, just a multitude of issues, but I think we're back and ready to actually call some action here. Goodness gracious. Man, I'm sure I've missed a lot trying just fighting these technical issues, and we finally got them figured out, so we're going to be able to call it to the end of the race. Um, but right now, it looks like William Griffith, Steve Loving are on the top spot. Griff all the way up from the back starting position he had, probably like around 19th it looks like. But we are under caution. I saw a couple cautions as I was dealing with the technical issues, and so we're probably under our third caution. It doesn't surprise me one bit, as these cars are just a damn handful. They're a handful on any racetrack, but here, without a restrictor plate running almost 240 miles an hour in a draft, you're going to see a lot of issues. And so I imagine that's what's going on, but I'll be glad to get this going back green. And let's call some action. Let's see these guys um, mix it up. So pace car's lights are off, so we're going to get ready to go back green. Pace car pulls off. William Griffith, the number 12 Dodge Charger, going to lead us down. All right, Griff gets a good restart there as we come down into turn one. See how much separation he can really get. The draft's going to be a pretty big deal, but it's going to be more important to try to keep the handle of the car. You see how spread out these guys are. It's a lot like the 87 series as we kind of go back and look and see. But look how they fan out outside of turn two, as you see the 84 machine of Jesse Nekula going towards the front. And tell you what, let's go on board with him and see what it's like. Oh, you see William Griffith get sideways, and oh my goodness, the broadcast occurs almost immediately as Jesse Nekula is going to get caught up in that. Sorry about that, Jesse. As we've got a big old wreck here. And it looks like Griff just gets a little bit loose, and Jason Lottridge goes down in that Batman car in the number 48, going to go down and hit that inside wall. But yeah, it just looks like the air got out from under Griff there as he's coming off the corner trying to pedal it to keep it from pushing out. And you see the car just started going up the hill and sailing on him, and he was not able to get it wrapped up. Let's go look at it one more time. Watch Griff here. Yeah, it just gets a little bit loose, and then fortunately Jesse Nekula had the broadcaster curse nowhere to go, and the 35 machine of Kyle Roberts just also with nowhere to go. It ends up caught up in that wreck. So under caution again. Like I said, these cars are really big handful. This is going to be the hardest, I think, anybody. I mean, whoever's going to come out of this race, with the W, it's going to earn it tonight. It's going to be very difficult. Racing by yourself in this COT at this track's hard enough. These tires just don't hold. They're just not made to go 240 miles an hour, so they wear out really quickly, and you're just on edge. You're pretty much trying to take flight, and so the car is just real floaty. And you see what happened there, just enough to cause Griff to lose it. So, but yeah, I think, like I said, I think whoever wins this race is definitely going to have to earn this. And since we're talking about it, let's go bring up the point standings if we can, as we kind of just finish up here is we're going to finish up tonight in the 2013 Cup car, the Ford Fusion, the Chevy SS, and crown ourselves the king for this off-season Speedway Kings Season 2. And right now our leader, Steve Loving, who's leading in this race, but he's also leading in the points with 112 points. And then we have a three-way tie for second place is Jameson Mullins, who's been our leader, our points leader for a while, has had a couple issues here. He does have a win, so does Steve. He was able to get the win last night in the Xfinity car. But Jameson Mullins, Vernon Reese, and Chris Reese all tied for second place at 107 points. So Steve Loving is kind of the guy everybody's looking at. They got to beat him, as if he wins tonight, he's going to be sitting really, really pretty. So a lot of those guys are probably hoping he has some sort of issues. And then you got in fifth place, you got Stephen McDonald with 102. Kyle Roberts there sitting there at 97. Travis Bieber and Brandon Wallace at 86 points. So a couple of those guys going to need a lot of help here. As 23 drivers is a lot, but they have to make up a lot of points there. So going to be interesting. It's really, really close. I mean, for a Super Speedway series, it makes sense that the points would be pretty close with guys. You're gonna inevitably get caught up in something of they're doing or not they're doing, and so it could the point standings in the last two races can change pretty quickly. So. Now, if anybody is in chat that can hear me, let me know if this stream is choppy or if it seems like it's running pretty smooth. Trying out some new things, some different little filters to try to make the game look a little bit better. Part of the problem that I had during this broadcast, a couple things went wrong. Just trying to make it look a little bit better if I can, but let me know if the stream looks choppy, if it feels pretty smooth. I'm showing pretty smooth on my end, but you never can tell. So if you're watching, let me know. As we're coming on to the backstretch, let's go ahead and just kind of go through the field now that we're kind of caught up and everything is good to go. Let's bring up this cam right here. As we got William Griffith there in second place, Steve Loving on the in first, Mickey Isaac running third, Zach Wetstein running fourth, Chuck Pegleck Phelps running fifth, Travis Bieber running sixth, Charles Stevens Jr. running seventh, Jamie Mullins second place in points, running eighth. Also second place in points, Vernon Reese running in ninth, Josh Lokovitz, current king, running in 10th. Jacob Ellingson in the Extends number 7 machine running in 11th. Tyler Rice running in 12th in the singular car. Chris Reese, also a second place point standings fellow, running in 13th. Brandon Wallace running 14th. Brandon Pollock, he's running 15th. Kyle Robertson, Skittles car, running 16th. Jesse Necula, 17th. Jason Lottridge, 18th. Those two caught up in that last wreck. Greg Barnett running 19th. Steve McDonald running 20th. Gene Watkinson running 21st. And Josh Oswald running 22nd. And David Necula seems to be out of the race. So I don't know what in the world is going on here, but Griff is way out ahead of the field. We'll see what is going on as they get bunched back up. Looks like Steve Loving was controlling the restart. Not really sure what was going on there, but Griff's car looks a little rough. But let's try to see what's going to happen here as we watch these guys try to manhandle these cars. Let's go back here and watch this battle between Travis Bieber and Chuck Pegleck Phelps. And let's go on board with Travis. And sorry, Travis, something happens to you, man. I'm doing my best to not let that happen. Let's watch Travis as he is trying to make his way up to the front. You hear him modulating that throttle a little bit as we're going down to the corner just to get the car set. And you see the car, you see how it just pushes all four wheels. Just that speed that they're running is just so hard on those tires. He's trying to make a pass on the outside. Just have to be real careful not to get into the wall. So he's doing a great job there as he goes on the outside of Chuck Pegleck Phelps. You see the National Guard machine of Josh Lokovic gets in the wall. You got to be careful with that. Steve Loving showing a lot of strength as guys are trying to get up to him. Zach Wittstein in the 4 Motorcraft machine trying to run him down. You see just how spread out these guys are as this car feels like you're just racing yourself in the track. You're not even racing each other. So way different than anything else that we've had. Even the 87s are just they're slow enough that a pack can form, and you're not just, you see Kyle Roberts get into the wall back there in that Skittles machine. But you're seeing kind of just how much speed we're getting here as Zach Wittstein is trying to get to the back bumper. You have to be careful. You have to actually lift off this corner as you're right behind somebody because you lose the front end of the car and it starts to four-wheel slide up the track. But he is starting to look down on the inside of Steve Loving, but not really able to make a pass just yet. Going to look down to the inside here. Is going to have position going down in the corner, and this is crazy. It looks a whole, and Zach Wittstein gets loose on the entrance of the corner and overcorrects and just demolishes the wall. Hit the wall hard. My goodness, Chuck Pegleck Phelps spinning down to the inside as we're under caution. My goodness, let's go back and watch that again as we try to go on board with him. And you just see he gets a little bit loose, gets onto that apron trying to, just turns in a little bit too soon, and he is just back and forth. And my goodness, as soon as he turns right, that poor car just shoots up to the wall. So just trying to stay off of Steve Loving going down to the corner, clips that apron, and just got bound up and just got into a death wobble he couldn't get out of. So you see Steve Loving, unfortunately, getting a lot of damage out of that. So I don't know the fast repair situation since I kind of joined late, but it looks like our points leader is going to have to go down and at least get a fast repair. If he's already used it, he's smoking. He may be out of the race. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that as we get ready to see him go down to pit road. But man, what an interesting race. I really, really hate all the technical difficulties. I haven't been able to see it play out to this point as we got 18 laps to go. But really interesting seeing how spread out it is. It seems like you're really having to drive it. It's almost like the top tier oval cars at a mile and a half or something. You see guys aren't able to get huge runs because they're already topping out, setting land speed records at 240 miles an hour. And these tires just don't grip. These tires are not designed for that. So I would imagine tire wear is a premium. I think coming to get 4 tires every time you can is probably about the only way you survive. You see everybody coming down pit road. And right now the story is Steve Loving after that incident with Zach Wittstein, and see if he's got a fast repair still left in the bank or if he is going to be in trouble. And there it is. There's his fast repair. Now there is 2 fast repairs tonight because our fearless leader Brandon Wallace in the 99 machine definitely foresaw that we would have issues like what we're having with just these being so tough to drive and so tough to handle. So decided to give everybody 2 fast repairs. So that way, if you knock down turn 2 wall, you still have another chance to get into a big wreck and make it out of it without any issues. But Zach Wetstein stopped in the middle of the track. And I've seen this before. I've seen this as maybe a pee break, maybe a poop break. We're just waiting on the field. He does get it back going, but as we look him to the lead, the guy that we saw spinning down towards the inside wall is now in the lead. William Griffith with a brand new car is in second, and it looks like Steve Loving comes out of pits in third. So I don't know if these guys. Yeah, it looks like everybody took 4 tires, as you see that we kind of go down the list of 15-second stop for the top 2, and Steve Loving with a 13-second stop, 14. Yeah, so everybody, maybe Jason Lottridge took 2 tires there in the 48 Batman car. So we'll see how that works out. Trying to get a little bit of track position is, you know, if you're trying to hang around in the back, you know, we'll have to see on this next run, but I don't think you can do that. I think it's too difficult to make a run and pass. I mean, you're already going so fast. You know, the draft really doesn't help you that much. You're already going way too fast, and you're having to lift in the corner, so you don't really get to get a huge run like a restrictor plate might give you, where you get a nice draft and it really sucks you up and tries to counteract that restrictor plate. You don't really ever get to feel that because you're having to lift so much in the corner. So track position will be important. So we'll see if it pays off for Jason Lottridge there in that Mountain Dew Batman car. So, but up front, so we get the 1 to go. Jesse Necula, our leader, definitely have seen him wheel some cars that are very difficult to drive. He bought the 87 car at the last race that we had in the 87 series last season. On the last race, bought the car right before the race and got out there and was really mixing it up with guys who've been racing it all season. So he has shown a lot of speed, a lot of car control. So it doesn't surprise me one bit to see him up front. William Griffith really seems to shine. I know it, you know, it may not sound that way with the fact that he did spin out earlier, but that's how on edge these cars are. You have to, you really have to be careful. And one little wrong mistake, just like what happened to Zach Wetstein, you have to be careful, and any wrong move is going to send you into the wall or spinning out, one of the two. So. We are going to have 15 laps to go as we get ready to go back green. Hope to see a little bit of a green flag run. That's one thing that, you know, I don't really know what these things do on a long green flag run. Seeing Zach trying to track down Steve Loving and was trying to make a pass on him before that accident. I was really hoping to see what that was going to look like. Pace car is off. Let's see what Jesse decides to do. If he tries to go early, or is he going to wait around? And it looks like he's ready to go, so he gets on down. You see the car squat down in the ass end as the guys get on the throttle. And we'll see what these guys are able to do. Our leader, Steve Loving, there on the bottom, and the second car on the bottom in the 27 Bud car, as Jesse Necula gets a really loose, trying to hang it onto the bottom. A lot of plate races, you kind of hug that bottom line, but this car makes it really tough to do that. So as we see if everybody's able to make it through here. So far, so good. Everybody's putting on a show. I like this. Jesse Necula going to get a little bit high there. Steve Loving gets a little bit nervous, you could tell, and trying to turn up under him. But so far, we've got a nice little battle here, a nice little 6-car battle. As you see, Chuck Pegleck Phelps they're right off the camera trying to get back into this battle. You see there's a lot of them around the yellow 75 Chevrolet. Oh, you see guys sliding over all over the place. As you see somebody going down to the inside wall. Don't know who that was. Can't find them. I don't know if they're a lap down or what's going on. Anyway, back up front, Steve Loving able to take that top spot away from Jesse. So Steve Loving showing a lot of strength. Steve Loving, really good driver. He excels in pretty much every car that he drives. He's a very solid racer. So definitely showing his strength, but I'd be curious to see who is able to battle it out with Jamie Mullins. These two running 1-2 in the points. He's got 13 laps to go. Steve Loving showing a little bit of speed there, starting to pull a gap on these drivers as this other crew back here trying to make their way back up to the front. Going forward to Chuck Pegleck, see what he's seeing. He's on the outside of Brandon Pollock, it looks like. Really having to modulate that throttle. You see he's getting passed by Zach Wetstein there. So it looks like the draft definitely has a decent effect, maybe especially on new tires, as we're seeing Chuck get passed by guys on the low line. Low line seems to be pretty good. But you see how these guys are shifting around, having to let up. So that bottom line is a parachute right now. Oh my goodness, guys are getting up out of the groove. And let's try to get a better camera as we see somebody into the wall. William Griffin, Zach Wetstein getting a little out of shape there as we are bobbing and weaving all over. Good Lord. Zach Wetstein just struggling. You could definitely tell he's still having issues. May have a little bit of damage there on that right front as it's crinkled in. But let's go back up front as the battle between first and second is definitely heated up as I would say probably the almost for sure top contenders for the King title here are battling out. You see Steve Loving getting really, really loose. That's going to allow Jamie Mullins to get that run down the back straightaway. He is on the outside of him. He may clear him before they get into turn 3. I think he's got the momentum to do it. He's going to run that high side. He's going to have to be careful. He has to lift quite a bit. Gets really, really tight. That's going to give Steve Loving the spot back. Oh, his caution is out. So it looks like Jason Lottridge had some sort of issue. Oh, yeah, Kyle Roberts just gets loose off the corner and just pile drives as Jason helicopter Lottridge just holding on for dear life. Good grief. So we are under caution again. Under 10 laps to go in this race as we saw a nice little battle there. Shame that caution came out because Jamie Mullins looked like he was about to take the lead. And I couldn't tell if he had to get out of the throttle or if he was just getting on the throttle for the caution. And Steve Loving just had him beat to that particular sector. So it gave him the top spot. Mullins was not quite ahead of him, so as we kind of look at our top 20 right now is Steve Loving, Jamie Mullins, Jesse Necula, Brandon Pollock, Chuck Pegleck, Phelps, Zach Wetstein running in 6th, Brandon Wallace having a good run so far, running in 7th. Charles Stevens running in 8th. Chris Reese running in 9th, and Mickey Isaac running in 10th. So we are coming down pit road, so pit road getting busy. What in the world? As you see, pretty much everybody coming down pit road. Like I said, nobody is going to take the risk. As we'll watch and see who wins the race off pit road. Do we got any two-tire drivers? Anybody going to take the chance? It looks like Steve Loving is going to win the battle off pit road. So it looks like everybody elected to take 4 tires. No surprise there, as Jason Lotch is there in that Batman Mountain Dew machine, coming out with his faster pair. So did Kyle Roberts. So they make it out alive, and they are still in this thing. But I would imagine at this point we are starting to run out of those faster pairs. Like I said earlier, two faster pairs per driver. With these cars being so difficult, it's not surprising. It's probably a really, really good idea. But Steve Loving, your leader so far has shown to be a front runner, like I said, for the King. Currently leading the points by about 5 points, 5 or 6. So Jamie Mullins cannot afford to let him win this race, so he's going to have to be aggressive and try to take that spot. And he's really going to have to hope that Steve Loving has some issues and is able to make up quite a few points on him. So Jamie Mullins is going to be a man on the mission here, as we're fighting for some really nice bragging rights. So like I said before, whoever joins this broadcast late, I apologize. Like I said, been fiddling with some things for the next upcoming season, trying to improve a little bit the best I can, and I've been using this Super Speedway King Series as sort of a practice time to fiddle with stuff, try some things. So I apologize if I missed the first part of the race, but we're gonna get the most important part, and that's the finish here. So we're gonna get the green with probably about 5 laps to go, and we'll have 2 green-white checkers if we need them, but hopefully it goes green all the way, and we're going to be able to see a great finish like last night. Steve Loving, our current leader, won last night in the Xfinity car. Probably the 3rd or 4th big one happened in turn 3 and 4, and Steve Loving and Ryan Huff was able to sneak through there on the bottom and had probably the closest finish I've ever seen out of all the years I've been on iRacing. It was a .000 finish. It was so close that iRacing, what they do is they go back multiple, as far however many decimal places it takes to call a winner. And my broadcast software said Ryan won, and iRacing said Steve won. So it was the closest I've ever seen, 0.000. That's incredible. So we'll see if we're going to have something like that tonight. It's going to be a lot tougher. I think the lead car has a pretty decent advantage. So I think Steve Loving is going to have nice advantage, being able to get the jump on the start. And we will have 6 laps to go instead of 5, like I first said. But hopefully we can stay green to the end and see these guys fight it out. All right, here we go. Let's go see who's got what it takes to take home the win tonight in race number 5 of the Super Speedway King Series. Pace car is off, and we're going to get ready to go back green. Steve Loving in the 27 machine, Jamie Mullins in the 66. who is going to be able to bring home the victory tonight. Steve Loving gets a great jump there. It's what he needs to do. Get this car wound up. You see the 22 machine of Brandon Pollock gets a great start as well. So he's going to be the outside of Jamie Mullins. Jamie does not want to see that, as Jamie would love to be able to use the whole track to get up off this corner. But new tires, he's got a few laps where he's able to. He's going to peak down 3 wide as we're going to see a 3 wide battle for the lead. Brandon Pollock going to jump out a whole car length out ahead as Jamie Mullins goes by as well. Steve Loving getting freight trained with that early jump, and that's really going to hurt him as Jamie Mullins, Brandon Pollock side by side for the lead, as Steve Loving is able to get back in behind somebody, get sort of a draft as Brandon Wallace looking to the inside of him. You see Steve Loving get a little bit loose in the travel treacherous area with these cars. So guys are going to have to be careful. But we are still side by side for the lead. Brandon Wallace starting to peek his nose up in there in that Goodwrench Plus. And we're going to start to see after 1 or 2 laps, we're going to see the tires really start to give up and guys start to really push off the corner. Steve Loving gets a huge run down the back straightaway. Going to go 3 wide and put Jamie Mullins in his rearview mirror as Steve Loving retakes the lead as Brandon Pollock and Jamie Mullins not able to settle it. So Steve Loving back out to the lead. Jamie Mullins with another great run. So he's going to jump down to the inside of Steve Loving. We got sort of a rubber band effect here as we got 4 laps to go. As guys are getting that draft that I said really is really good early on the tires, but starts to fade. So you got to fight for all your track position right here, I believe, as before the tires really start to wear out. And you think about how much pressure is being put on these tires. We've got a lot of downforce with these cars, but 240 miles an hour, you're just hammering away at those tires, so they do not last long at all. As you've seen guys come in and pit every single caution. So see Steve Loving get really loose there in the trial. We're going to lose a little bit of time to Jamie, but Jamie kind of having to settle in. You start to see that push up in the middle there as we go on board with Jamie Mullins and see what he's doing to try to run down. Steve Loving's going to get a run here. Let's watch from Jesse Necula's view as he's getting a run on the back end of Steve Loving. Actually lifts a little bit to try to jump down to the inside as he gets hit from behind. Man, I really got to stop. Yeah, as he goes down to the corner and Brandon Pollock is there. Just kind of kicks sideways, which is weird. But let's get back to the action as Jamie Mullins is, my goodness, Brandon Pollock is involved in another incident with Brandon Wallace, it looks like. So guys going all over the place. But let's go back up to the front. Oh, we are under caution. So looks like after all of that, guys going all over the place. Tyler Rice in the number 6 singular Chevrolet is going to bring out our caution. So we're going to have a green-white checker 1 of 2 tonight as they're putting on a really good show there during that little bit of green flag racing we had right there. I think we saw some guys really putting their car in spots they probably haven't all race, and Brandon Pollock, kind of a pinball there, just was into, got into Jesse Necula, and then and I can't remember who else, but just kind of got pinballed there. It's Brandon Wallace and him get together in the trial. But the way everything is, it seems, unless there's some sort of wreck up front, it seems like if you are not in the top 5 or 6, it's going to be real tough. You see some guys coming down pit road. That's probably a smart move. You're trying to get some tires, get any bit of advantage you can. But I think you're going to have to be up here in a green-white checkered. I don't think you're not going to have enough time to make it work. But we know how hard these guys are going to race to get this win. And just a little bit of tap, a little bit of having to lift here and there that could bring somebody that is full throttle with a big run, can make it up to the front. So it is still definitely anybody's race. But if I had to pick, I'd like to be in the top 5 here. I think that's where the winner's going to come from tonight, unless all 5 of them wreck. Well, you know, unless unless my SDK is just going wild, I am showing that we are on the final lap, so we may not have green, white, checker. We had open qualifying tonight, so I don't know if the server may have been thrown up in a rush, but I'm showing that we're on the white flag lap, so we'll get confirmation as we come back around if we do get the checkered flag. That will be the race. So if that's the case, then Jamie Mullins doing what he has to do to get this win and put a car between him and Steve Loving, it's going to really tighten up the point standings here. So we'll see as they come around. If they get the checkered flag, that will be the end of the race. I know one man who will be plenty thrilled about that, and that'll be Jamie Mullins. But we'll see as they come around. Yep, there it is, checkered flag. So there's your winner, Jamie Mullins. We will be doing no green, white checkers tonight. So congratulations to him. As Jamie Mullins is going to win race number 5 in the COT at Talladega in the Super Speedway Kings, as the demo derby has begun already. So congratulations. What a fun race there. I don't know why it's automatically doing the results here, but there we are. There's your results. Jamie Mullins, Brandon Wallace, Steve Loving, your top 3. Zach Wetstein, 4th. Charles Stevens Jr., 5th. Jesse Nakula, 6th. Chris Reith, 7th. Travis Bieber, 8th. Chuck Phelps, 9th. Greg Barnett with a nice top 10 finish. Vernon Reese, 2nd place in points. Not what he wanted to see. Finishing in 11th. Steve McDonald running 12th. Jake Ellingson finishing 13th. Mickey Isaac 14th. Kyle Roberts 15th. Josh Lokovitz 16th. Brandon Pollock 17th. Running up front. Had a couple incidents there at the end of the race. Tyler Rice as well, finishing 18th. Jason Lottridge 19th. William Griffith 20th. Gene Watkins 21st. Josh Oswald 22nd. And David Nekula 40 laps down. Seemed it didn't start the race at all, so he will finish 23rd. So let's go ahead and try to get these fellers up here in the booth and let's talk to them. And I tell you what, we'll go ahead and we'll talk to Steve Loving. Hey, Steve, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
Hey, well, you know, I missed a lot of the race with some technical difficulties, but there I watched the last 20, 25 laps of the race. So I got to see the second half, and man, you showed a lot of speed. Seemed to be kind of a rubber band effect there, trying to be the one out front whenever the tires really start to give out. And you were trying to kind of trading blows there with Jamie Mullins. Kind of talk me through your race. How'd it go before I was able to actually watch the race? And at the end there, what did you need to try to get this win?
Yeah, so the car's fast. This is a great car. Handles a lot like the 87s, just lighter, a little more horsepower. Um, my objective was really just to stay in front of everything. I'm very fast on these cars, so instead of doing the stay in the rear and give it a last 10 lap run, I wanted to stay in front and just kind of avoid everything. Um, Figured there'd be a lot of cautions. Just wanted to kind of stay out of the mess. But yeah, it was a great time, great group. Had a blast.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations. Well, you will still most likely retain the points lead as we go into the last race. So we are trying to crown a new king. What do you got to do? We're doing the a car that maybe a lot of people haven't spent a whole lot of time in, the SS and the Ford Fusion tomorrow night. Kind of what's your strategy, what's your game plan, getting ready to go, trying to take that title home.
I just want to finish. That's really all I want to do. Try to avoid it. Use the brakes. Make sure my lot ridge brake pedals are engaged, and see what I can do and see what happens.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations on a third place finish. You've shown a lot of speed, a lot of ability in this series. So, you got anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs?
Again, thanks to you for doing a great job. JC Motorsports, Rebels Racing Network, the entire league, all the great guys. It was a blast running with Jamie. Him and I were on comms laughing and trying to give each other plenty of room. I saw that Zach had an incident when he clipped the apron and flew up on the track. And I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe it was net code, but that really hammered him and got me to use a fast repair. But everybody, Brandon, Jamie, the whole group, everybody was running pretty solid tonight. Did a great job. Had a good time.
All right. Well, congratulations and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, sir.
Well, all right. Let's bring Brandon Wallace in here. Brandon in the stadium in the booth. You got me?
Info, got you, Eddie.
Well, man, fun race. You were kind of showing a lot of speed there, showing that you're able to make moves and try to get to the front. Just came up a little bit short. Tell me what you need to do to get that win tonight.
Ah, man, it was just those cars are a handful, and yeah, some of those guys, just depending on the turn and the corner, how you got through it is if somebody got to run or you got to run on them. But 230-mile-an-hour madness, brother.
Well, tell me about the green-white checkers at the end. What happened there?
This was a Jonah Colbert race, okay? And you notice Jonah Colbert wasn't in it. His request, his special needs and attention, and he wanted the group qualifying and the no green-white checkers. Now, don't tell him I said that, but, it was a last-minute throw-together race, and when I put it in, I made the mistake. I wanted to see a green-white checker at the end.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, though. I think that's something we need to revisit in the future. I think that was a lot of fun to see how guys are struggling with the handling and trying to work that through. So, well, congratulations on second place, and kind of you're kind of out of the chance of getting that title of the king. But depending on how many people show up, you may be in it still. So, I mean, what's your goal and what's your plan for tomorrow night?
Man, we just got to full send it to the front. Them cars are going to be a blast, and going to be our new nightmare car for Tuesday night. So this will be a good test bed, and I know those Mullins and Loving have pretty much got it in hand. If that they're going to duke it out and they're going to race each other clean, and so there's a nice prize on the line for whoever wins this thing.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations. You got any sponsors, teammates, shout-outs you want to holler out?
Well, yeah, I want to thank Jonah Colbert for his idea in this, and then I want to hate on Jonah Colbert for this, and I appreciate you loving on my aerial numbers tonight, brother.
Hey, I didn't say a word about them. I was just, hey, look, I can't talk about your numbers. Hell, I didn't get but half the broadcast done, so we'll let the numbers slide tonight. Well, congratulations, Brandon. Congratulations, Brandon, and we'll see what you got tomorrow night.
All right, thank you, brother.
Well, all right, let's bring our winner in here. Jamie Mullins, this Eddie in the booth. You got me?
I sure do, sir.
How you doing tonight? Man, congratulations on the win, man. That was fantastic. Y'all were up there duking it out in these cars. They seemed like a handful. But, man, you, Steve, and a couple guys were able to really kind of hang on to dear lives, like y'all were riding a bull out there, but you had to do it for 50 seconds a lap. So tell me about it. What was it like out there?
Oh man, my hands are sweaty. They were a handful. They get, you burn the tires up pretty quick here if you ain't careful. But uh, I just got the car about 30 minutes before this race, so really the only practice I had was the hour that we had for the practice before the race started. So, uh, but I tell you, that is the most fun I've had in a race car, in a virtual race car, really yet. Besides the 87s, I had fun in those too, even though it didn't end as
My
well
man.
as I wanted to here.
Well, yeah, I mean, being able to come and get the victory tonight was, my man, it was just really impressive. Kind of talk me through the first part of your race. What were you dealing with as you were starting to? You say you just bought the car. You had just a little bit of practice, but during the race, I mean, what did you find out? What did you learn, and how were you able to apply that to get the win tonight?
Well, I found out that you could run it hard for a few laps, but then after, maybe 3 or 4 laps, it was better to, let off, not run it as hard, cool your tires down. And then battling with Steve there at the end and Brandon Pollock, I had to burn them up a little bit more than what I wanted to. But you really have to. Steve's so fast that you got to really try just about everything you can to get by him. And we traded so many, spots back and forth that it was just crazy. I was laughing. He was passing me, and I telling him, man's a good pass. And then here I come run back, and it was just so much fun battling with those guys. And I hate that it has to come down to one race, but uh, you know, if I could have pushed Steve, I was content to be where I was at. But I got such a good push behind that I had to do something, and luckily it worked out for me.
Well, you go into the next race with you were about 6 points out there before this race, and now that should close you up to about 4 points. So you are definitely in this. There's quite a few guys that will still be in it because I would imagine we've got quite a few people that are going to show up tomorrow night. So what's
Yep.
your plan? I mean, it's always a dice roll in these the super speedway races, but there's got to be some skill in it because you two have been really the class of the series so far. So there's got to be some skill to it. So what's your plan tomorrow night? I know you don't want to give away any secrets, but what's your plan tomorrow night as you tackle yet another new car?
Well, the secrets, I really don't have any. I started in the back, but I ended up starting 12th, so I didn't qualify this time. Sometimes not qualifying works out for me, and sometimes it doesn't. But really, I just try to latch on to somebody that's fast and ride it to the front. That's what I was doing this time. It seems to me, I have to say that I did my pit stops. I did not have a mistake on pit road. I normally either slide through my box, uh, miss it, or something. But this time something just clicked. I don't know. Maybe I just took it a little bit slower going in, but I made up quite a few spots on pit road. Uh, but my goal is to go out and just have fun. I was so much worried about points and getting caught up into the big one and things like that that I wasn't having no fun. But today I had fun and it seemed to work out for me.
Well, I think tomorrow night's gonna be interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but it's gonna be sort of could be a frustrating deal because a couple races here we've had some separation where you can really fight one or two guys, but tomorrow night it's gonna be back like the mid 2000s, and there's gonna be multiple lines running nose to tail. Runs are gonna be few and far between, so. I think it's going to be a fun race to crown the king, and and I'm pulling for all of you really, but man, you've shown a lot of speed, you've shown a lot of you've been fun to watch. So I wish you well tomorrow night. So congratulations again. You got any shout outs? Anybody you want to thank?
Oh yeah, the Dang Lang Racing Designs. I just started as being an associate teammate to those this year. Uh, for you, Eddie, you're doing a really, really awesome broadcast. I normally watch it at the end of it. Once I get done racing and stuff like that, I'll get on there and watch it, and you just killing it in the broadcast booth.
Well, don't watch
Uh,
this one. I can promise you, this ain't the good one.
uh, I gotta thank Steve. I mean, he's just a real professional around these cars, and we're pushing each other. I gotta thank him, uh, and the Rebels, the whole league. for putting this on. You know, Brandon Wallace for putting this on, setting this stuff up for these King races. Really, just I'm having a blast and honored to be able to do this.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the victory tonight and your second one of this series. And good luck tomorrow as you try to go get number 3 and the title of King. So, congratulations
Well,
again and good luck tomorrow.
thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Well, all right. Well, there you have it. Jamie Mullins, your winner tonight as we get ready to close out this fun in between seasons series tomorrow night at Talladega and try to crown the king. We're going to go ahead and pull up the points and see if they've updated just yet, and we'll kind of get an idea of what we're headed into tomorrow. And wow, unbelievable. We are going to have a really, really close battle. Jamie Mullins able to take over the top spot. I thought he was going to be a little bit far back, but it looks like a win gets you a lot, 2 or 3 more points, as he is in the lead with 147 points. Steve Loving in second with 146. But we definitely cannot count out Chris Reese and Vernon Reese, as they have been maybe not as good as these two at the top, but for sure have been in it in most races. So I expect them to come out guns blazing tomorrow night and more traditional super speedway setup. But you know, even depending on how many people we get, Steve McDonald, Brandon Wallace still possibly could be in it. So it's definitely not over, but it seems to be a 2-horse race now as Jamie Mullins, Steve Loving have really started to stretch that lead a little bit. So be excited to see how this plays out, and it's anybody's series still at this point. We get there tomorrow night, and these two could have issues early on and not be able to recover, and we may be seeing somebody, a dark horse, come out of the top, the top 10 and take home this thing. So, but anyway, sorry about the issues tonight. If you're watching this back, guys, not not my best work, but like I said, trying some things, just using this sort of a playground to get ready for the next season. And so it's good to get all the quirks out of the way on one of these races than it would be once we get to the season. So good to get some learning going on, learning what's going on, what causes some of this stuff to happen, and so we're gonna keep improving. So anyway, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.